Early morning market update here on the 22nd. So on SPY, I'm just looking at this as the start of looks like a start of a fifth wave to me, with a short fourth wave. And if it is, I wouldn't be surprised if we went all the way down to 393 just based on the other waves. So it's kind of a short fourth wave. Let me get rid of these. So if we look here, the second wave, you can't even see it on the 1 hour time frame. So maybe this is still a third wave. However, I already count 5 waves here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So, and you can go down on lower time frames. It's kind of a weird wave. So it could be still the third wave finishing out here. But if the third wave is still finishing out here, then that means we're probably going to go down to, based on the fibs, down to the low 390s. Unless this is somehow an ABC move, which I don't think is possible for how far it's extended. So I'm basically just watching this on lower time frames. This move right here, it came down from 400 all the way down to 397, pulled back to the 0.5 fib, almost exactly. And so I have the 1.61 fib of that here at 396.36. If that were to hit, look for a pullback to maybe 397. And then we'd be looking at somewhere around 394. But then we zoom out here on the daily time frame and we're looking at the moving averages. Right around where you'd want it to end for an ABC move is 396.50 is a 50-day moving average. And then we have the 200-day here at 393. So if this ends up going to 394, it's probably going to go all the way down here to 393 and at least test the 200-day moving average as well. And at that point, it's probably a third wave. And we're looking at this then. And we could see mid 380s like that. So just kind of waiting. It's moving up here a little bit now over the last, since I started making the video pretty much. So let's see what happens. How far is this retraced? So if it retraces past basically 399 again, then this might still be a second wave of this move. We'll have to wait and see. But again, 1.61 fib at 396.36. And if it goes lower than that to complete this to 393, then this might be a 5-wave move. And that would mean we're probably going to go a lot lower. So it's pretty important to watch that. Tesla took off lower here. It was up actually at the very beginning of the day and it took off lower. I think it's just beginning its move down here to 187, potentially lower. If this is a 5-wave move, then it could go all the way down to, let's see, could go down to maybe 175 to 172, maybe even like 170. And if you remember in the video yesterday, I talked about that this could be an expanded flat. And so a 5-wave move down there would not be surprising. So 180 is the 1.23 fib and 1.61 fib is at 169. So don't be surprised if it does that. If this turns out to be a 5-wave move, then Tesla might for sure do that. Microsoft pretty flat. I talked about yesterday in the video that it pretty much, the 1.61 fib was at 250. And on the daily time frame, It is below the 200-day right now, and we have the 50 down here. So we'll see if it gets back above the 200-day. I would expect it not to go much lower, but again, we'll see. Whoops. Apple. Apple is going lower than the parallel lines I drew. So this could go all the way to the 1.61 fib. So that could be all the way down here at 144. Excuse me. So again, just be aware of all these possibilities, but really I'm just watching SPY to see what happens. Are we going to stop at 396.50, or are we going to keep on going all the way down here to the low 390s and potentially even the 380s? We'll see. If it turns out to be a 5-wave move, that's going to be super bearish, because then we know that we're going to at least get an ABC move, but potentially we probably more like an expanded flat that I talked about in the video yesterday. So down here to like 365, maybe a double bottom with October lows. So a lot of stuff is riding on this chart right now. Let's see which way it plays out. Maybe I'll make a video later today. We got the FOMC meeting, our minutes here in a few hours, I think around 2 Eastern. So we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll make a video here a little bit later. All right.